Coco Pommel, Spike, A True Love by Swedish Jump. It was a normal day in Ponyville. Spike were at Rarity's boutique for helping her with some dressers and some other things she needed help with. And then suddenly she hears a knock on the door, and inside walked Coco Pommel. Rarity was surprised to see her friend from Manhattan, but at the same time she remembered that Coco read a note that she was going for a visit. And Coco and Rarity spent the whole day together by talking and helping each other with on new dressers and some other designs. And meantime, Spike couldn't notice that how much Coco was looking at him and smiling at him. And he didn't know at first that Coco actually had a crush on him. Spike had actually dated Rarity now for at least a few weeks, but a few days ago, Rarity told Spike that she didn't want to date him anymore. And it was not because that he was a baby dragon or that he's a dragon, because she wanted someone else. She had actually met another stallion when she went to Canterlot a few days earlier. And Spike took it very hard. But at the same time, he understood that he would never have a chance with Rarity anyways. But at least he had dated her for some time, which he was grateful. But at the same time off from all this, Rarity had explained to Spike that Coco was going to stay there in Ponyville for at least a week. And she asked if Spike could show her around in town. And Spike said, yeah, sure, I can show her around. And Spike then, already the next day, met Coco at the hotel she stayed at and took her around the town to show her the castle, the Sugar Grip Corner, and the park, the movies, and many places that there you can go to. Around the afternoon, Coco was going to start to get hungry, so Spike took her to the local cafe that was nearby, so they decided to eat something. And Coco didn't have enough bits to pay for the food, so Spike offered his money to help to pay for it. And she didn't say that she said, oh no, I don't want you to pay. It is okay, don't have to worry, said Spike. Even Spike didn't mind to pay for his and her food. He just wanted to make it that she didn't want her to be hungry. So they spent as much time at this cafe, and after they even took an ice cream. And Spike told Coco some funny stories and some of his old adventures they had with his friends when they defeated the Storm King and when they managed to defeat many others, like Sombra when he saved the Crystal Empire twice. And Coco just stood there and listened to every word that Spike told her. And that made her crush for him even much stronger. And just right then, she said, I love you, Spike. And Spike stopped mid-sentence and looked at her, and she looked back, and she then realized what she said and started to blush. And Spike just said, you do? And she started to blush even more and said, yes, I do. And then she suddenly left the cafe and ran away back to her hotel, and Spike just sit there without noticing at first what's going on. He didn't know what's going on. Just a few minutes later on, he's figure out what's happened. What? What's happening? He said. And of course he paid for the food for the both, but he went to Rarity's boutique to ask her and told her what happened. And even she was surprised, but she knew that she loved Spike as well. But just that she said it right out in front of the opening, that made Rarity quite surprised. And Spike said that maybe he should go talk to Coco about this, but Rarity said no. Let her be. Talk to her tomorrow. It's better you just leave her alone so she can process all of this. And Spike just nodded and went back home. But Spike couldn't stop thinking about Rarity or about her advice that Coco just said to him. So he couldn't even stop thinking about Coco as well. Even Twilight had noticed that Spike was a little bit daydreaming during the dinner and even asked him, "Is something wrong?" "Oh, no, nothing's wrong," said Spike. And she noticed that something else, that he was thinking about something much different. He haven't much eating either. "Oh, yeah, I'm not much hungry. I ate some food with Coco Pommel today." "Oh, she's here?" "Yeah." And then Spike told Twilight what happened. And Twilight, she was not that surprised because she noticed that Coco had watched Spike from time to time when she was there or when they were in Manhattan. But Spike wanted to know if he loved Coco or if he was still confused about this and if he had strong feelings for Rarity or something else. He went to his room and he couldn't sleep, so he was spinning around the bed. He even walked up to take a walk around the castle. He went to the kitchen to make something to eat and went back to his room and went back and forward on the floor. And even Twilight, who had her room just a corridor, but later down in the corridor, could notice that Spike was still up, and she went to his room. "Spike, please get on some sleep. It's middle of the night." "Oh, sorry, Twilight, I can't just sleep." Try to get some sleep, Spike. You have work tomorrow." Oh, okay," said Spike, and went back to bed. But still, Spike couldn't fall asleep at all. He didn't fall asleep until around almost early in the morning, just before the sun rise. And then Twilight came in and said, "Good morning, Spike. Time to wake up." "Twilight, can you not please wake me? I just went to bed." "Have you been up all night again?" "Yeah, I couldn't sleep." And Twilight realized he let her, so he let him decide to let him sleep. "Alright, came back around about a few hours then." "Oh, okay," said Spike, and fall back to sleep right at the moment. And Spike was actually dreaming about Coco. And just a few hours later, Spike woke up. He was full of energy and went down to the library to help Twilight. But when he came down, it was empty. He went to the kitchen, empty. He went to the room, empty. He checked almost every room in the castle and he could think of, even on the roof and the basement, but nowhere. Then he left the castle. Then he met Pinkie Pie. "Oh, Pinkie, have you seen Twilight?" No, I haven't." And she said they haven't. She even went down the street to see Apple, and he asked her, but she haven't seen her either. But then he went to Rarity's boutique, and there she was. Twilight was there to try a new dress for the gala. And then Spike remembered, yes, the gala is sold. And then he met Coco was there as well, helping Rarity. When she saw Spike, she started to blush and make some excuses that she needed to do something. But Spike stopped her before even she could walk. And he explained everything to her as well. And they both talked about, at least for a while, about his feelings for her, and at the moment, Spike told Coco that he loved her, and he even asked if she would like to go out with him. Even Twilight and Rarity just looked at him, but they were quiet. And when she said, "Yeah, I like that." So they both decided to go out already. So they went to this local restaurant where they ate some lunch together. And just then, Coco realized that Spike was actually the more gentle colt than any of the stallions she had dated in Manhattan over the last few months. She was hoping to find her special son pony soon or not. But she had dated many stallions back home, but none of them had any connection with no one. Until she met Spike. So for the next few months, Spike visited her back in Manhattan, and she went back to Ponyville for a visit. He often took her out for a picnic, or either to a romantic dinner, or through movies. But their relationship remained strong even for each day that passed. And for the next 8 years, they had still been together, and one day Spike even proposed to Coco, and she said yes immediately. And they both had their wedding at Manhattan with all their friends, and they even had their honeymoon on a tropical island. And just 3 years after their wedding, Coco told Spike that he was going to be a father. What? Are you serious, Coco? Yeah. And Spike fainted after she told him that she was pregnant with at least twins, and that made him faint. But a few months later on, Spike was prepared to be a father, and they had a son and a daughter. And both of them was half pony and half dragon, and they all both had inherited father's fire breathing ability and strength and bravery. And their daughter, she actually got the interest in her mother's fashion, while their Spike's son, he was more into to help others. So he became a doctor in Manhattan. So both Coco and Spike was just happy to have a family together and even be married with each other. And that made them so strong together, and even they had some fights over this from time to time, but they still remained loyal and loved each other. And that's how Spike and Coco Pommel found their true love and got a big family. The end.